hopefully, this offseason we find a way to get better and, add some pieces.
The biggest name in free agency made a decision. Paul George has agreed to a deal with the Sixers.
And, it's going to be put up or shut up time. This is the team. This is the moment. This is the time. You're not going to have chances like this.
Hopefully me and Joel and Tyrese get on the same page early as possible.
I already look at this big three and say that they have more talent than what Phoenix had last year.
This team could compete for a title right now.
Philly fans, what's up? It's your boy, PG8, not 13. Cut the 13 out.
Well, the Sixers, they landed the biggest name in free agency, Paul George. We can't call him PG-13 anymore. He agreed to a 4-year, $212 million max deal. That was back in July. Big money comes big pressure, big expectations to win. The Sixers, remember, they haven't made it out of the second round since 2001. And as training camp approaches, Draymond Green, he wanted to wish PG good luck this season.
Did he?
Good luck, Paul George. Ooh. He better play well. They're going to crush Paul George if he don't play well.
But he's the three there now. That's perfect for him.
You know why they're going to crush Paul George if he don't play well? Because they already got a nasty taste in their mouth from their last three that they had.
With Harden and Joel?
No, with Tobias Harris.
Here's the thing. I married into a Philly family. Philly fans are passionate. That's how we're going to put it. Philly fans are passionate. So Draymond Green, he might have a little bit of a point there. The Sixers, they have a trio, though. They have all-stars in Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and now Paul George. So, Perk, how much pressure do you think is actually on PG to be the one to make this all work?
Well, look, Joel Embiid is under the most pressure for as anybody in the NBA to get it done this year at a high level when it matters the most. And you know who is second or third on that list? It's Paul George. And I don't want to hear about, he done been to conference finals and he done made his mark in the postseason and all that. No, it's about him getting to the promised land. And think about Paul George's journey. Okay, leaving Indiana, going to the Oklahoma City Thunder, where, him and Russell Westbrook had a great thing going down there, a good thing going. They had a future in front of them, then forcing himself out of OKC to the Clippers to team up with Kawhi Leonard, underachieving every single season, whether that was because of them, injuries or whatever the case may be, they still never got past expectations to leaving the Clippers, and now pairing up with Joel Embiid, a former MVP, Tyrese Maxey, a young superstar on the rise. He's for sure top 3 in the league when it comes down to guys under pressure.
Okay, a little story time. Stay with me here. So I was 8 years old when I left Los Angeles, California, and my mom was from Philadelphia. We took a Greyhound bus all the way to Philadelphia. She reconnected with my stepdad. They were married for 35 years. So I have Philly experience, small bit. Mom and stepdad both from Philadelphia. Every Philly fan is under pressure because they hate their team. And I say hate their team because they're happy, they're unhappy. It doesn't matter if it's the Eagles. It doesn't matter if it's the 76ers. And I'm sorry, Eagles fans, last night was a rough one, so I hate to give you this stuff. So my point that I'm trying to say is that's just Philly. For Draymond to be over the top and be like, they're going to hate. Boston fans are the same. Knicks fans are the same. If you haven't been to a conference finals since before I was in the NBA.
I thought it was 2001. Right?
Okay. I came. No, last year they were in 01. That's when I went to conference finals. I came in 01 and 02.
I was just making sure.
So I'm 44 years old. What are the Philly fans going to see that they haven't seen for the last 25 years? What are they going to see? So what I'm saying is the expectations on Philly is to get to a conference finals. We would be stoked because they haven't done it. That's not pressure. I still stand by the team with the most pressure is the Boston Celtics. They have a loaded roster. They are primarily healthy outside of Porzingis, who will join them, which is probably good that you only need him for half a season. But they have a loaded roster. They have an over-the-top cap space, and they can't do anything. So the pressure is on the team that is expected to win, not the team that is expected to do better than the year before.
But
that's just it.
Some of the pressure comes off. Perk, what do you say?
Oh, God.
I don't care.
Pressure, I feel like, Perk, I'm right here with you. I feel like there's more pressure when you are a team that has not yet won a championship and your team was designed to trust the process versus the Celtics who finally delivered a championship. Their guys are coming back feeling good. Their team is probably going to be pretty decent. They feel like they can do it.
The
pressure is on
since
Philly.
08.
Yeah, but guess what? Now we're looking at the Sixers are you going to complete the mission this year? Because you guys, it was a high-risk, high-reward move getting Paul George. Perk said something. Most pressure on anybody. Did he say it was Joel Embiid or Paul?
Joel Embiid and then PG's top 3.
There's a case for that to be true because if there's going to be pressure on other guys in the NBA, maybe Luka Doncic based off of how they fizzled out. But do we think that his team is better than what the guys in Philly have assembled from a big 3 core? No. Think about Dame and Giannis. Do we really trust in that core more than what Philly has assembled? Probably not. So overall, I think the pressure is on Philly to deliver. They've asked these fans to be patient, and now they have the perfect
team. Be patient for 25 years. For
now they have the team that can do it, and you're going to say, oh, there's no pressure on them.
There is no pressure.
No one knows these 2 teams better than Tim Bontemps, who has spent extensive time in both Boston and Philadelphia. You talked to Joel Embiid, right, just a couple of months ago exclusively about how he thinks his partnership with PG is going to go and his expectations for the season. How's he processing all of that?
I mean, Joel has been very vocal saying, all I have left to do is win a title. I've done everything else. I won MVP. I've won all these awards. That's fine. I actually think that where the Celtics thing comes in is I think the Sixers right now are where the Celtics were a year ago, where all we were talking about a year ago is, are the Celtics ever going to get over the top?
Yep.
What happens with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum? Can they win together? What are they going to do with this team? How are they going to get over the top and finally win? And then they did, right?
Yeah.
So now they come back. Yeah, maybe they win another one this year, but they got over the hump. The Sixers are sitting there, haven't done this in all this time. Oh, get out of here. And now you're sitting
He was
here
bothering Malika.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's Tuesday.
What else is going on? And so the Sixers now are sitting there in the same boat where all they can do is win, and if they do anything less than that, it's going to be a failure.
Boston had how many conference finals and how many finals appearances?
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like the gap between them and Boston.
But the window is shrinking for them to be able to do it.
Also around Joel Embiid, which in talking to him, he is totally okay with, is, okay, we gave you James Harden, and that didn't work.
That's right.
Ben Simmons, and that didn't work. If Paul George also doesn't work, he's going to be the first person to say, I want the smoke. But that conversation is going to happen.
Here's to Garnett. Garnett inside. Backs it in. And a foul. Another better year in Boston. The Celtics are the NBA champions.
One of the best to ever wear, number 5, Kevin Garnett, helping to remind us we're just 5 weeks away from opening night. Now with our reporter who covers the Eastern Conference and Celtics for us, Tim Bontemps. The Celtics, they are looking to repeat here for the first time since 1969. Tim, what is the biggest thing that is standing in their way here?
Health. We saw the Celtics be basically healthy all last year, Malika, except for Kristaps Porzingis, who missed time during the NBA playoffs, memorably came back for the beginning of the NBA Finals, then suffered that rare tendon injury in his ankle. He had surgery after the year. He's going to be out until early in the part of 2025. We're talking probably into January before he's going to play. We'll see how the Celtics can handle that. We'll see how the rest of their team can stay on the court. Last year, their 4 core perimeter players, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Jrue Holiday, none of them missed any time. They were basically available all year. If they start to miss any games, you get into that depth, we'll see where the Celtics land. Because remember, yes, they've made it through the playoffs, had home court advantage, and won the title. They also played against a bunch of teams that had injuries, right? We saw injuries play a big part in the way their whole thing went. So health's obviously a big factor for everybody. Richard talked before about how deep the Celtics are. We'll see if their health can carry through this year.
Yeah, that depth may be put to the test, particularly when you remember that 3 of those guys that you just mentioned were on the U.S. Olympic team, playing varying degrees of minutes there. So that's something that they are going to need to monitor. Tim, thank you so very much. The Celtics, though, want to be the first team to repeat since 2017. They're going to need to channel some KG energy, right? That anything is possible.
Oh, yeah.
So let's play a game.
What's the game?
I love a game, right? Let's do this. I'm going to give you guys a topic, and you're going to tell me whether it's possible or impossible. Impossible.
Impossible.
Things are happening everywhere.
Listen, with Ozempic, anything is possible.
Oh, Lord.
Wait.
All right. Richard.
Wait.
Richard's in timeout, and we're going to take a look at the top 5 teams who have the best title odds here, right? The Celtics are the favorites to repeat at plus 325, and then you see the Thunder, the Sixers, the Nuggets, the Knicks all filing into that top 5. So, Perk, I'm going to start with you here. Anything's possible, right? Who outside of the top 5 could win a title this year?
The fact that the Dallas Mavericks is not in that top 5 is crazy to me, but I'm going with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Mike Conley, Jaden McDaniels, and Big Rudy Gobert. Bringing back their entire starting 5 and a killer what they have coming in off the bench in Naz Reid. They had a nice playoff run going to the Western Conference Finals. They're going to continue to grow because of the experience. Anthony Edwards is going to be on another level this season. This team is going to come back better. I could see them outside of that top 5, a team that could possibly win the championship.
No, Perk brings up some good points, and that's a rare thing for me to say. It's because I've been gone so long. But when we talk about the Timberwolves, I still think that the start of their series in that conference final, they had a hangover from that 7-game series. That was crazy. Winning those 2 on the road, losing those 2 at home, the back and forth. You know this, Perk. This is an emotional roller coaster that you go on. And it could end in 1 hour, and you got to start the journey again in 36 hours. So people don't understand the toll that takes trying to get through that. So they will be better this next year. In my opinion, they will be better. They'll be more experienced. They understand those things. So I think 100% this is possible.
Yeah, Malika, you started this segment talking about the Boston Celtics, and if we go back to 2022, the big issue that they had was running out of gas and trying to figure out what they had. I feel like the same thing has happened this past year for the Minnesota Timberwolves. When we saw Anthony Edwards going up against the Dallas Mavericks, he just wasn't himself. He realized he was learning on the fly, like, wow, it takes a lot out of my system to be able to compete on both ends, be that dog, pun intended, play defense, and also deliver and play your best basketball on offense when it mattered most. And that was an adjustment. That's a learning experience for him, but also for his squad to be able to figure out how to find ways to win when your leader is maybe struggling in some key moments. So I think a lot about the Celtics in their growing moments, and that sort of parallels a lot to this Timberwolves squad.
So you're saying it's possible?
100%
it's possible.